Mm, it looks like they are getting wet. We are reading Winnie the Pooh, Whether or Not, Book 10. And they are definitely getting wet. Mm, I think my dog is listening. Her head was up. On a sunny morning in spring, Pooh listened to Owl talk about the weather. Owl said, "No wind or precipitation today." That means rain. What?" asked Pooh. "Precipitation," said Owl. "Rain, Pooh. It definitely will not rain today." Pooh was very glad. He was so glad that he had an idea. "Would you like to go on a picnic?" he asked Owl. "I'm sorry, Pooh," said Owl, "but I promised to have tea with my aunt." I wonder what his aunt looks like. As Owl flew off, Pooh headed down the path toward Piglet's. He found his friend in the front yard, fluffing a rug. "Why, hello, Piglet," said Pooh. "How about a picnic?" "No, thank you," said Piglet. "I have spring cleaning to do," because he is doing the rug. I wonder what else he's got a broom. I wonder what else he's doing. "Oh," said Pooh, as the droopy look came over his face. Then he brightened. "You could do your spring cleaning tomorrow," he suggested. "I'll even help you." That's a good idea. Piglet looked at the rug, then at Pooh. "All right, Pooh," said Piglet. "Let me get my picnic things." "Hooray!" said Pooh. "I'll pack my things too. Let's meet here in half an hour or thereabouts, whichever comes first." Pooh ran down the path as fast as he could. He rushed so fast he didn't watch where he was going. "Oof," said Eeyore, as Pooh bumped straight into him. "Hello to you, too." "I'm sorry, Eeyore," said Pooh. "I didn't see you." "I know," Eeyore said gloomily. "No one ever does." "But now that I do see you," said Pooh, "I'd like to invite you to a picnic." "Me?" said Eeyore. "Yes, you," said Pooh. "Why, thank you," said Eeyore. "I accept." "Good," said Pooh. "Wait here while I get some things. I'll be right back." He's busy. He's getting everything together. At home, Pooh stuffed a basket with a blanket, a few napkins, and 3 pots of honey. "I know Piglet will bring haycorn muffins for himself," he said, "and Eeyore will find some thistles to eat. But I'll bring 3 pots of honey, one for each of us, just in case." Then at the last minute, Pooh added some bread and jam and tied up the bulging basket with string. He's got a nice basket. He hurried back to Eeyore, and the two friends trotted down the path to Piglet's. When they arrived, Piglet was outside waiting for them. Oh, look at his little basket. That's cute. Excuse me. As the three friends chatted and strolled through the forest, the conversation rolled around to the weather. Eeyore couldn't help asking, "Are you sure it won't rain?" "No preciping today," said Pooh rather boldly. "No what?" said Eeyore. "No rain," said Pooh. "Owl said so." Remember, Owl said it. Hmm. "But what about those?" Piglet squeaked. He pointed to some thin gray smudges in the distant sky. Pooh squinted. "That may be smoke," he said, "or dust, but not clouds, especially not rain clouds." "Humph, humph," snorted Eeyore doubtfully. He has his doubts. Soon the friends arrived at a lovely sun-warmed meadow. "Look," Eeyore said Pooh, "there's some thistle for you right over there." Oh, here's the thistle right here. And Eeyore definitely likes it. As Eeyore went over to taste the thistle, Pooh and Piglet spread out the picnic blanket nearby. Oh, Pooh's favorite part. "It's a beautiful day for a picnic," said Piglet. "Indeed," said Pooh. "Would you like some honey?" "No, thank you," said Piglet. "I'll have some bread and jam to start." "Indeed," said Pooh. "Indeed" was a word that Pooh had just learned from Owl, and Pooh was practicing using it. Well, there's the jam, and there's the bread, and of course the honey. And the basket, Piglet, in his little basket. Pooh and Piglet began to eat. After every few bites, they politely dabbed the honey and jam off their faces with their napkins. Oh, very polite indeed. As Piglet dabbed at his face for the third time, the napkin flew out of his grasp and tumbled toward the trees. As he scurried after it, Piglet cried, "What did Owl say about the wind?" Pooh called, "He said there wasn't going to be any." I think there is some. As Piglet returned with a napkin, he asked, "Then what was that?" Pooh thought. A flap of air," he suggested. "It's wind," insisted Eeyore, looking up from his thistle. "Only wind makes things flap." Eeyore was right. By now, Pooh could see that Eeyore's ears, along with his mane, were flapping in the wind, and when Pooh stood up, the picnic blanket flapped around his feet too. Yep, we definitely have some wind going on. Look at poor Eeyore. Oh my. Pooh grabbed a honey pot and said, "Here, Piglet, help me put a honey pot on each corner of the blanket." "But we have 4 corners," said Piglet, "and only 3 pots." "Oh, bother," said Pooh. "We'll have to stand on the empty corner." There's 1 pot of honey. There's 2 pots of honey. There's 3 pots of honey, and they're standing on the 4th corner. As Pooh and Piglet secured the blanket, first with the honey pots, then with themselves, the wind blew around them. Along with Eeyore, the 2 friends squeezed their eyes shut, waiting for the gale to die down. Well, that looks better. Finally, they were able to open their eyes. Pooh looked at the grass swaying gently in the trees and said, "It's more breezy than windy now. Why don't we fly kites?" "What's kites?" Piglet asked. "Or what kites?" Piglet asked. "The ones that we can make with our napkins," Pooh said. "I got the idea when I saw your napkin blow away." That does seem like a good idea. Oh my. Piglet glanced up at the sky, which seemed to be getting darker. "Oh dear, are you sure that we'll be able to fly kites?" he said. "It's starting to look like rain." "It sure is," Eeyore offered, although no one had asked him. Pooh said, "The sky may look like rain is coming, but rain isn't rain until it falls and drops. Until it does, we might as well have fun." Then he smiled. "Anyway, Al did say that it wouldn't rain today." Good old Al. So as Piglet and Eeyore watched, Pooh set about making the kites. He used sticks for the frames and the twine from his basket for the lines. It looks good. "My kite's kind of nice," Piglet said, "even with the jam stains." "What about mine?" complained Eeyore. "It looks awfully plain." Said Pooh. "Let me rub it on the grass to make it green." Well, that's a good idea. This one has jam on it, and he's putting grass on that to make it look green. Once Eeyore's kite was properly decorated, Pooh helped his friends launch their kites. Then he launched his own. Under the dusky gray sky, they watched their kites bob and weave in the wind. See Pooh with his kite, and Piglet with his jam kite, and Eeyore, oh look how he's holding it in his mouth, with his grass kite. Uh-oh. Suddenly Pooh felt his nose twitch, or rather he felt it itch, or possibly something had tickled it. Then he felt himself being tickled all over. There was no mistaking it. "Oh, bother," Pooh cried. "Rain!" As the drops fell, the friends pulled their kites out of the sky. "The picnic's over," said Eeyore. "I'm not surprised." Don't be so gloomy, Eeyore urged Pooh. Let's wait a while and see if it clears up. Pooh walked over to the picnic basket and said, "In the meantime, Piglet, help me make a tent. I'll drape the blanket over a branch. Then we'll stand underneath and hold up the sides. Eeyore can stand in the middle so he doesn't get wet." Hmm, it looks like a good idea. Oh, there's Pooh and Piglet. A short while later, the wind and the rain stopped, and the sun came out again. "I think I'll go home," said Eeyore, stepping out from under the tent. "All this weather has made me sleepy." Pooh wanted him to stay, but remembered that when Eeyore didn't get his rest, he was even less cheerful than usual. "Thank you for coming to our picnic," Pooh called after his friend. After Eeyore was gone, Piglet said, "What should we do now? I have some of my muffin left." "I have half a pot of honey left," said Pooh. "Shall we finish them?" "Why not?" said Piglet. "Why not?" echoed Pooh. He looked at his basket hanging over the branch. "We can take down the tent and sit on the dry grass underneath." "Good idea," said Piglet. "Indeed," said Pooh, because where the tent was, it's dry underneath there. So they're sitting in a dry spot and they're eating honey and they're eating a muffin and they're having a very nice time. So Pooh and Piglet sat, finishing their picnic. As they ate, they gazed at the raindrops glistening on the leaves of the trees. "You know, Pooh," said Piglet, "any day is a good day for a picnic, as long as you share it with your friends." "It certainly is," said Pooh, "whether or not." There's some little rain puddles. Didn't hurt anybody. Makes the grass grow. The end.